New research indicates that police officials who work in areas or states that have the most relaxed gun laws are more likely to die as a result of gun violence. The study looks at who's killing the cops, and it's overwhelmingly people with private guns. And that's according to David Swedler of the University of Illinois at Chicago School of Public Health. Now, officers are 3 times more likely to be murdered on the job in high gun ownership states in comparison with low gun ownership states. That was the big wow for me. That's according to the researcher. He also says if we're interested in protecting police officers, we need to look at what's killing them, and what's killing them is guns. Now, overall, 38% of U.S. households have at least one gun, ranging from 4.8% of homes in Washington, D.C., to 62% in Wyoming. Now, just one quick pause before we get to more of the facts. What they found is oftentimes in the red states that have the most relaxed gun laws, police officers will respond to a domestic violence issue and they'll get shot and killed then. So it's more likely to happen in cases like that. Now, Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Montana were the states with the highest rates of both gun ownership and for law enforcement killings. Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, and Rhode Island had the lowest per capita rate for both. Now, per capita is important because, of course, some states have more people than others. So they're trying to make a point about how they accounted for that.
Okay. Now, there were 782 homicides of police officers over the last 15 years. Now, of those, let's see how many were because of Black Lives Matter. Oh, right, 0. Now, how many of those were committed using guns? 716 out of the 782. Okay. So if you actually care about police officers and their lives and their well-being, you'd be really, really concerned about gun loss. Now, there are many police organizations throughout the country, including San Francisco, for example, who say, for God's sake, tighter gun control laws, okay? It's crazy that every time we have to go into a call, whether it's in public or it's domestic violence in somebody's house, I got to be worried that there's a gun. And we're concerned that cops have become too trigger happy. Now, to be fair to them, one of the reasons, there are many reasons, one of the reasons is that everybody's got a gun. So now they keep shooting people without guns. But to be fair to the cops, in some of those cases, they got to be thinking, well, on average, every American there's like 300 million Americans and 300 million guns. So maybe that's why they're shooting people, because they assume, and in their experience, everybody's got a gun. In this case, we see the actual facts. 38% of households have weapons, but a lot of those households have multiple weapons, right? Mm-hmm. And cops are pulled into those situations where not only do they have weapons, but they're in a very hostile environment, right? You've got heated temper. That's why the cops got called in the first place. So if you actually care about cops' lives, as we do, you'd want to protect them. See, that's a different issue than whether the cops themselves are doing abuse in arresting people, in handling certain communities, whether it's the homeless, it's minorities, it's the poor, mm-hmm. or it's the mentally ill. So that is a real issue, and you should be concerned about how the police handle that. It is also a real issue that cops are getting killed, and you should also be concerned about that. And if you are, the people killing them are not protesters. It's people with guns.
Yeah, and the point that I'd want to make is, look, there's this huge argument that if you want to do something about the bad people with the gun, the bad guy with the gun, you just need more good guys with the gun. Here you have individuals who are highly trained in using their weapons, okay? These aren't people who are just regular, everyday, average citizens who go to target practice and they think they're Rambo. These are actual cops who know how to use their weapons effectively. And they're still getting murdered by the bad guys with the gun. Okay, so this good guy with a gun versus bad guy with a gun argument is BS. Of course, cops should have guns. I don't think that we should get rid of cops' guns, but it's ridiculous to make an argument that arming every single citizen will lead to less gun violence.